What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest combat sports and culture show in the entire universe, the Fight Podcast. I'm your host, SERG VICENTE, and this is episode 310 of the show. What we're going to go ahead and do today, we're going to talk a little bit of boxing, because boxing is actually in the news for once, and we're going to talk and break down all of UFC 266. But if you guys are watching, you'll be able to look over here to my side, and you can see who's hanging out with me. I am joined by none other than my brother B Cam the Guru.
Yo, thanks for having me. Part of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you joining us on the show. And then also my other brother from another Café con Leche on the other side. You got Nick. Marcus, what it do?
Good to be back, man. I haven't been here since episode 300, so glad to come back in another big number, 310. Just keep it going, baby. I like to see that.
You know, we got to keep it with like all the good numbers for you guys, man. Not Brandon. Brandon's on here with me all the time. He's every odd number. But
no one listens for me. I'm not special.
All right. Well, gentlemen, let's go ahead. Oh shit, man, and jump into it. On today's menu, we're gonna go ahead and talk about everything that happened in the Canelo plant presser. We're also gonna get into UFC 266. But before we get into that, we have to talk about this weekend. We have a huge boxing fight this weekend. And that is none other than the heavyweight champion with most of the belts. We can call him the lineal champion at this point in time. What you say that be? He's the unified champ. We got the unified champ, Anthony Joshua, against the former undisputed cruiserweight champ finally coming up. We're talking about Alexander Usek. B, I'm going to start with you. This fight is this weekend. It has been a while, and I'm not going to lie. I have been somebody who has been on this show and everybody else's show talking about it. I have not been happy with boxing right now, and I'm still not happy with boxing. Boxing has been ass recently, but every once in a while, they give us these gems, and this is one of those gems. This weekend, we have a legitimate heavyweight matchup. We have AJ, we have Usek. Bro, what is your excitement level at this point in time?
Very, very excited, because at this point in time, last week we spoke. You were like, hey, what's your excitement level? I was like,
you said, wait.
Fights keep getting canceled. I can't get excited yet. Now I can get excited. You know, there hasn't been any COVID tests yet. You know, these guys are not hurt. We're going to keep them in bubbles. I'm starting to feel like I should clear my schedule around 5 p.m. on Saturday, because there's going to be an amazing fight to watch. And also, I want to shout out the governing bodies for this one, because they got it right with the WBO. Right. The rule is that when you move up as their champion, you become the mandatory challenger. That is this rule working itself out right now. It's unfortunately also one of the reasons why they couldn't go into the Fury fight. But this is the right fight. This is a really good fight for Joshua. This is not a walkover fight. And I would say it's about probably 60-40. You could give Joshua the 60 and Usek the 40, but it's a very close fight, a very good fight. And if you're a boxing fan, this is not one that you should want to miss. It is two heavyweight behemoths in their prime going at it for enough of the belts. Like 3 of them.
Yeah, shoot. Three of the 4, right? Three of the 4 major belts is up for. So, Nick, let me ask you this. You are admittedly the guy who, you know, isn't the biggest on boxing, but when you have a big heavyweight matchup with 2 guys like this in their prime, for you, what does that mean to a casual, like a boxing fan, when you have a legitimate heavyweight matchup?
Oh, it's always awesome to see some haymakers. It kind of takes you back to like days of, you know, Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson and Butterbean and all those guys. I mean, back when I was actually invested in boxing. But Anthony Joshua is one of those names, you know, like I'm not that invested anymore. But Anthony Joshua is definitely one of the names that, you know, catches everybody's attention. Even people who aren't into boxing know that, are familiar with him. And there's a reason for that. He's a phenomenal boxer, just an absolute behemoth of a man. And these fights are exciting because of that, because you see the power that these guys pack in their punches. And you see, and then not only that, but it's not so much what they can give, but what they can take. Because I mean, it's impressive, you know, like to see these guys get the hits that they do from these other big guys, and say like, how are they still standing? It's amazing. So like, of course, this is going to be one that's going to be exciting to see.
Yo, okay, Brandon, how about I'm gonna toss it back to you, because a lot of people have made a lot about Anthony Joshua's size. Anthony Joshua usually comes in super jacked. He's out there, muscles on top of muscles. But this time he's coming in a little bit more lean, admittedly more lean. Do you think that favors either of the athletes, or does it even matter? Is it just people making much ado about nothing?
I think it's people making much ado about nothing. I'm not necessarily sure how much Anthony Joshua wants to live on the inside after what happened to him against Andy Ruiz. I think, personally, I think Anthony Joshua is a bit chinny. You take a look at the Andy Ruiz fight. He's been hurt prior to that, but the Andy Ruiz fight, and then Andy Ruiz fights Chris Arreola and couldn't put him down. And Chris Arreola is 40 years old, and he hit him with shots all night, could not put him down. But look at what he did to Anthony Joshua. Now, Joshua could have been injured, could have been a plethora of things, but that tells me that I don't have the confidence that I would like to have in Anthony Joshua's chin. Now, this works for Anthony Joshua because I don't think Usyk necessarily has the power to he's not like giving you Deontay Wilder, or he's not giving you Deontay Wilder and not even Dylan White type of power. I'm sure he can hurt you, especially with a shake your chin, but Anthony Joshua can afford to take risks that he wouldn't be able to take with other fighters on the inside. But I don't think that's where he's going to live. I think he's going to come in, he's going to slim down, and he's going to stay on the outside and stick that jab. Remember, both of these guys are Olympic gold medalists. They know how to use that jab. They know how to box.
Yo, and you really think about it, this is a phenomenal fight. This is even on paper, it's a phenomenal fight, and it's amazing. I'm sure in the UK they're talking way more about it, but I think boxing has been so bad recently. I think people aren't excited right now about boxing as much, and people are almost overlooking this amazing fight that's about to happen. And here's the thing. I think one of the big things also is that a lot of people have been looking at it like it's a foregone conclusion. We're going to get AJ versus Fury to see who the best heavyweight in the world is. And the funny thing about it is, Usyk can come in here. I mean, Wilder also, but Usyk can definitely come in here and really put the kibosh on everything and fuck everything up this weekend.
Cancel Christmas.
Straight up cancel Christmas. Straight up cancel Christmas. So look, let's go ahead and just get into it. What these picks are going to be, how you see the fight going down. Nick, throw it to you first. Like I said, I know you're not the biggest boxing guy, but I want to know, what do you think? You got a guy coming up in weight. You have a guy who people believe is the guy. Are we going to get an upset?
I think it's possible. I mean, ever since Anthony Joshua lost against Andy Ruiz, anything is possible, right? And it's exactly what you're saying. These guys like Usyk, people tend to overlook these type of fighters, right? Because they're so attached to the big name. They automatically assume that, like you said, that this is going to lead to the Fury and everything like that, and it was just going to stay kosher and familiarity and stuff until somebody like this comes along and ruins it for everybody. So, I mean, you know me, I don't have much knowledge in this, but I'm picking Usyk because I think that he's getting overlooked, and I'm always down to go with the underdog.
Love it. I like it. B, what you got, man?
And like Nick, people aren't speaking about this fight enough because they don't know who Alexander Usyk is. I believe that after this fight ends, they absolutely will know who he is. But all that being said, I think he loses in a controversial decision. So I'm going with Anthony Joshua via controversial decision.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't think about it like that. I absolutely should have thought. I have not
especially
put in
with boxing.
The controversy. Absolutely with boxing. And I mean, B, where's this fight taking place? It's in the UK, yeah?
Yeah.
Of course. Of course.
Hey, home court advantage, baby.
Home court advantage
have
for
like
sure.
50 or 70,000 people out there. Come on now. You know how AJ get down?
I know exactly how AJ gets down. Look, I'm going to say this. AJ, out of most individuals, AJ is going to be the guy that he's going to be the better boxer in the bunch usually. You know what I mean? Usually he's going to be the best boxer in the bunch, no matter who he faces, unless it's Fury most times. But if you're looking at it, he might not be the best boxer in the ring when he faces Usyk, which is really interesting. Usyk proposes a lot of challenges, and Anthony Joshua's never seen that style of fighter before. He's never seen that style of guy that's coming with the angles that I think that Usyk can do and actually move the way that Usyk does. And Usyk does bring power with him. So I'm going to go with Alexander Usyk with the late stoppage. Okay. I think Alexander Usyk stops him. I think he stops him in a really similar way. Go back to the way that he ended up beating Tony Bellew Bellew. You remember when he beat him? He caught him coming in with the angles and the movement. He ended up pretty much with just a beautiful shot. He ended up knocking him out. And I see him pulling AJ into a game like that at some point in the fight. Late in the fight, I see him catching him. Man, I see him putting him down. I think Usyk cancels Christmas for everybody. I'm going with Usyk.
And I want to say this. I think it's important to note here that we're giving Usyk a lot of credit, and he deserves it. But I will point out that the Tony Bellew fight was at cruiserweight. In the the two fights since he's moved to heavyweight, he hasn't looked amazing. Yes, he's won those fights, and he's never really been in danger of losing. But he took a couple shots against Derek Chisora, right?
He did.
So he showed that he can take those shots. However, on the other side of that, can he take those shots from Anthony Joshua if he gets hit with them? Totally different styles. So who knows if those shots will be available. Yeah. But if Usyk doesn't look like his cruiserweight self and he's looked at heavyweight, then I don't think he has enough to beat Anthony Joshua. But we'll have to see.
You know what I'm interested in with that fight? This is what I'm interested in, because here's what's the good thing about Anthony Joshua. The great thing about Anthony Joshua is he has the power, he has the look, he has everything that you want out of a heavyweight champion, but he is chinny, and that's a beautiful thing about him. The fact that he's chinny, he makes him so compelling, and I'm looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and transition, because I said we got our fight picks and everything with it, and let's talk about some fun. Let's get some fun in here, because this week, yesterday, which was Tuesday, we had the presser with Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant. And to come out to join us today and talk about this, let's welcome our next co-host, our next guest, my brother Matty Fox. Matty,
hey, what's up, guys? Man?
This is Matt Fox with internet today.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
That clarity and everything.
We got clean background. We are good to go. Let's do it.
You got money. You got the little squares on the walls.
Nah. It's not what you think it is, but we're good, man. The internet connection is solid.
That's
fantastic. Well, look, man, thank you for joining us today, bro. Always a pleasure to having you on the show. But we were just about to talk about Canelo versus Plant, and it was amazing. And it was amazing because this happened. We'll watch this, and we have a little video at the courtesy of Fight Hub. Look at that. The head movement. The speed. Oh my goodness. First of all, who's excited? I'm excited. This is what I needed from a Canelo fight. This is what I needed. To be able to see something like this. Who are you nervous for?
I'm nervous the fight is going to get pushed.
Oh, no.
Why you got to say that?
Fighters push fights for getting cut close to the fight. We're 6 weeks out. That's a cut right under his eye in a problematic place. Like, the fight could very well get pushed out for something like that.
But you think it's that big of a cut for them to push it?
Caleb Plant and his team have said that they believe that it's not a big deal. They said it's not deep. It's people made way more of it than it actually is. Granted, a fighter's going to say that shit, so I don't know if I'm going to believe him or not. But if we're looking at it, it could be bad. And here's the thing. I obviously don't like those type of things because we remember what happened recently in MMA with Dakar Close and what's it called? Stevenson. Where, Dakar Close got pushed from that really close in the same way. He ended up hurting, almost giving like Dakar Close whiplash, essentially. And he had to even miss the fight from getting pushed like that. You know what I'm saying? So we never know what could happen. You never want to do it. It sucks to see. But at the same time, oh, don't you just fucking love it? Oh, the fucking savage in me was so fucking hype. I was on my couch. I was watching that shit live. Oh, it was awesome.
It was great for the fight. It was great for the build. I was super excited. I mean, both fighters landed before round one.
Dog. No, here's the thing. Because everybody was trying to talk shit like Caleb Plant didn't land. Caleb Plant landed. He did.
It was like a fingertip situation.
Nah, brother. It was like 4.5 fingers with like some pressure to it. But Canelo's so quick with the movements. Yeah. Couldn't see it.
I was gonna say that really took me by surprise because for somebody like Canelo, I mean, like I said, I'm not obviously that deep into the boxing game. Canelo's one of these names that I turn out for as well. I never thought that I would see him lose his I mean, I've seen him lose his composure, but I didn't think at a face off like that and everything and to actually for them to land hands on one another, that's pretty awesome. There's my co-host, by the way.
You actually can't you can't say motherfucker to Canelo. This is trigger word. He's he like a Hydra agent. You say them trigger words, he gets to going crazy.
I love that one. Who was it? He was at the press conference. He's like, I'm going to.
It was Boo Boo Andre
right now, motherfucker. Dude, that's
what I'm saying. And that's the thing about it, which Caleb Plant said it afterwards, who cracked me up. He was like, fam, you call people motherfuckers all the time. Now you're gonna take offense to it when somebody calls you a motherfucker? Good point.
Caleb Plant also pointed out, he said, hey, my mother was shot by the police 2 years ago. I wouldn't necessarily bring up somebody's mother because Caleb Plant, I mean, he's out here parading around like he's a white boy, but he's black. He knows that, he's gonna open that door, and it opens that door for him. He'd be like, okay, you're gonna talk about my mom. Your mom just got shot by the cops. Let's not bring up mothers. So he understands that. He's like, I wouldn't bring up somebody's mother to begin with.
Facts. No, I mean, and as we know, look, I am a fan of both. I really am. I'm a fan of both. Look, man, we got math. I see the.
I'm here. My camera's just not working, but
Mag got the paranormal activity camera.
Guaranteed,
I'm about to say
it's spazzing out.
My man has the. Your camera definitely looked like you're back in 1970.
Yeah, I'm here though, and my connection. I can hear you guys perfectly. It's crisp, just like the 1-2 that Canelo landed, man. So we ready to keep it moving, man. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't ready. And the funny thing to me was that, how Canelo doesn't speak English in the media, right? Probably because he's not comfortable. But that motherfucker knew every word that Caleb Plant was saying yesterday.
Yeah, he did.
He may not have known every word, but he knew motherfucker.
Well, I was gonna say, typically when somebody knows a little bit of a language, it's always the bad words that they learn first. So I'm pretty sure that he understood the overwhelming majority of whatever Caleb said.
He's definitely been speaking English more in the public, but I definitely want to highlight Caleb had some moments too when he was talking shit to Canelo and Eddie Reynoso. A little bit after that, he was definitely holding in his own. He's clearly not scared, and he can talk shit. He got a good, for someone who's typically so quiet, he had a good mouthpiece. He knew how to joke a little bit. He said, "You're just a fat version of him, and y'all both not gonna do shit about it."
Dude, he's great.
Yeah, he's kind of right.
Yeah, I'm a Caleb Plant fan, and I've said this. Okay, so already my excitement level for this fight was already pretty high because Caleb Plant is one of our guys, right? He's one of our guys. We cheer for him, we criticize him when needs to, but he's one of our guys. Canelo is our guy.
That's our guy.
We are Canelo stands over here. But so being that is it, we're so excited for this fight, and I'll say this stylistically. It is one of the best fights against Canelo for Canelo that you could have out there. I think his style poses a lot of issues for Canelo. Canelo has a lot of issues, lost a lot of times with athletic fighters, guys who are quick laterally. Caleb Plant can do that. But here's the thing. Caleb Plant has shown vulnerabilities late in fights. He's shown vulnerabilities in certain. I've seen him get hurt. Canelo throws thunder, okay? So it's a really, really compelling fight. I'm so excited for it.
Canelo's going to want to assist with those fatigue efforts. He's a great body puncher. One of the best in the sport.
Oh, man. So, and here's the thing, though. Okay, so let me ask this, because we're not making predictions or anything like that, and we already know people going to count Caleb Plant out. What percentage would you give Caleb Plant on winning this fight? What is a percent that you can say, I'll put this percentage down, he can win?
I put a solid 28%. I think Canelo has a solid, very full 72% chance of winning. I think that's a good, solid chance. But Caleb Plant is a professional boxer, so he probably gets a couple percentage points there. He's a mover; he gets a couple more percentage points of that. For that, he's a champion, potentially the naturally bigger fighter. He's been at the weight longer, though. Canelo's been all over the place, so whatever. But I mean, he's I would say 28%. you definitely have to favor Canelo by a lot, but it's not like Caleb Plant is dead in the water here.
No. Gentlemen, anybody else?
I mean, that means you're giving him a 1 in 3 chance of winning, bro. I think that's pretty high. You think he wins 1 out of every 3 bouts?
I mean, that's honestly, I'm even giving it slightly higher than that. But yeah, I think that highly of Caleb Plant and his skills.
No, I'd probably drop down to like 20% if that's going to be the way.
I'm gonna say I'll give him a third. I'll give him 28%. I was gonna say 25%, but fuck it, I'll go with that. I'm sticking with that.
I'll give him 1 in 5 fights.
That's respectable against Canelo, and we think about it, Canelo is like upper echelon dude. Y'all can take your Terrence Crawfords and shit and keep it. I think Canelo is my number 1 pound for pound boxer in boxing today. It is what it is.
I'll give him 10%.
10%. I mean, but here's the thing: he has a shot, and I think that this fight is going to be far more competitive than I think most people believe.
But here's the thing, Canelo's the god of the scorecards, and Caleb Plant has a shot. But the shot is more than likely not by knockout. It's going to be a decision, and Canelo has traditionally favored Wells when it comes to the scorecards, if it even makes it there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. Not mad at that, man. All right, let's transition a little bit because we got a lot to talk about today. Brandon, I'm gonna throw this to you really fast because I have to get your thoughts on it. And gentlemen, I want you guys to talk about like kind of the back half of the question. But B, Triller Teofimo Lopez. The fight has been moved 5 times. When do you think we're actually gonna get this fight with Triller? And if we get it with Triller, how do I want to put this? You know what? Let's just start at the top of it. How do you think with the whole situation, is it going to stay with Triller, or do you think Top Rank is going to take it over again?
It'll stay with Triller. Triller won the purse bid, so I think they're going to do that fight. It doesn't matter when it happens. I think they're going to do that fight. I think it happens sometime over the course of October. I think they scheduled it at an odd time to begin with. It was like a Monday or a Tuesday night. It was a Monday night. They were competing head on with Monday Night Football, not necessarily what you want to do if you paid $6 million just for this fighter to fight on your platform. So it looks like they're moving the fight. It looks like to a Sunday. Is that correct, Sergio?
Yep.
Yeah, it looks like they're.
That's what I have.
Hold on.
But you know what? No, actually, they still don't know where they're doing it. I think
it was supposed to be in New York at the Hulu Theater at MSG.
At 6 hours ago, Teofimo. Boxing Scene published an article that says Teofimo does not plan to agree to move his upcoming date to October 16th. So he wants to move forward that October 4th date. Because remember, we haven't heard anything official yet. There's just rumbling. So Teofimo said he's not accepting that. So if he doesn't accept that, I'm not sure if they can just move his fight without cause. It's not like somebody tested positive for COVID this time.
Man, it's crazy. Triller's looking bad right now, man.
It's been a shit show, but that'll actually be some legitimate boxing on the platform. So it's a fight that we should all definitely be looking forward to. I mean, Teofimo's been out of the ring for about a year now. He's a young fighter. He needs to be active. So we want to see how he looks, how he's recovered from COVID. And I mean, yeah, it's been a shit show, but a lot of it is due to COVID. And to a certain extent, I think we do have to give a bit more grace when it comes to these COVID delays, because that's not in anyone's control to a certain extent, unless you're unvaccinated, which he did seem to be.
Yeah, he definitely.
I mean, man is fumbling the bag. Let's keep it a bean, as Serge would say. He's fumbling the bag. And listen, you had all you needed to do.
He's not fumbling the bag,
bro. Perhaps because they already paid for it, there's no way out of it, right? I guess that's probably
with that person situation. I don't think there's a way out of it at all.
Which good for him.
I think he has that $6 million.
But it's not going to help his brand that it's going to be on a random Monday night in October. I know they had originally said it was going to be a Tuesday and it was going to be for $20 pay-per-view, which I thought was like kind of a novel idea, right? Like, okay, maybe like we'll have like a night with the boys kind of thing, order the pay-per-view at a reduced cost, get some eyes on you and keep it rolling. But then they changed the price back to $60, if I'm not mistaken, and are putting it up against Monday Night Football on the 4th Monday Night Football of the year. Like, this is preposterous.
I'm not even a football guy, but that's just not a good idea. It's not a good look, guys.
No.
Look,
Brandon's not even gonna watch that because he's gonna be busy watching Monday Night Football because I know he likes his football.
You know, I'm about to be having both up because while you're playing, I'm not going to miss Monday Night Football. I actually can miss Monday Night Football. I'm not going to miss a Teofimo fight. And while it isn't the best spot for him, he's a young fighter, and my boy carries his currency in gold in the form of 3 of those championship belts in the division.
Yes,
so even if he has a down performance, doesn't perform as well, and not as many people see it, he has those belts. He can fight. He can pretty much pick anybody he wants. If people stop ducking Haney, he can take that fight. He can take a Garcia fight. He can take a Jojo Diaz fight.
Say it one more time. If they stop ducking Haney.
And he can also move to junior welterweight at 140, which is in the plans anyway because he has a hard time making 135. We'll see if he even makes 135 for this fight.
Let me ask you this. Is it a bad look for Teofimo Lopez to leave 35 without fighting any of those other young boys?
Before all of these fights with these young guys started to materialize like they have now, Teofimo was saying that he wants to leave the division by the end of the year. Okay. So I would say, like, while you can say if you want to push the narrative that he's ducking somebody, like he fought Lomachenko. Like, why is he ducking Devin Haney? I don't think that's the thing. If he really wanted to fight Devin Haney, he'd fight Devin Haney, but I think he has a hard time making the weight. And just right now, physical, it may be easier for him at 140. There's some dogs up there waiting for him, but we'll see what happens with him. But I don't necessarily see him sticking around much longer.
Okay. No, I totally see it, man. Well, regardless, he's one of the best in the game. I can't wait to see him and get back out there. Really quick, everybody listening everywhere, make sure to listen to the Fight Podcast, available Apple, Google Play, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Check us out at thefightpodcast.com. Listen, like, subscribe, share. Appreciate you guys. All right, really quick. Oh, did I send y'all? Yo, so Dude Wipes is doing a little thing with us, and they sent me a big box of Dude Wipes.
Nigga, where's my box of Dude Wipes?
Nigga, I might have to send you one, man. They sent me, they gave me this thing of Dude Wipes.
Year supply.
Dog, yo.
Costco supply?
Yo, they gave me like 6 big packages of like Dude Wipes, like 2 different scents. And then they sent me a travel Dude Wipe thing, like to go Dude Wipes, like a little, you throw them in your bag before you go. They sent me these little things that are scent bombs that before you drop a deuce, you throw them in the toilet, you drop a deuce, it cleans your toilet and freshens it so you don't smell shit. And they sent me a bidet.
The bidet is underrated. I'll have you know.
Underrated. We got
I
one.
ordered one at the beginning of the pandemic, and it's been a lifesaver.
Hey, it's the best thing ever. Between that and Squatty Potty, I mean, come on, man. That doesn't get much better.
I'm on the Squatty Potty. I can vouch for that.
I'm telling you, don't knock it till you try it, BCam. Don't knock it till you
try it.
No,
he said he got one. Yeah.
I'm not Squatty Potty. I'm on board. I haven't had the bidet yet, but everybody I've spoken to said it's pretty amazing. So I don't doubt that.
It'll change the game.
I'm telling you, it's one of those things that you don't always need, but when you need it, it's there for you, like a good friend.
I'm telling you one thing, man. It's one of those things, though. Just be careful how you turn the nozzle, depending on when you get. You get a surprise if you give yourself enema.
You got to be ready, man. You got to be ready.
Did you say you get some venom? Did you say venom?
Enema, fam.
Animal, man.
You want to make sure
that's an LA thing. You wouldn't know, BCam. That's the LA thing. That's the LA boy stuff.
Hey man, you gotta. Hey man, having this dude laughing just in the darkness, all I can see is like his circle like getting bigger when he laughs.
Oh man.
All right, check it out. Let's move a little bit. Let's just transition a little bit to we got some UFC this weekend. We got a big card actually. UFC 266 is this weekend. It is headlined by Alexander Volkanovsky versus Brian Ortega. But we also have the GOAT of women MMA, Valentina Shevchenko. Yep, I said it. Against, I don't know, some girl. And then Lauren Murphy. And honestly, Lauren Murphy has an amazing story, which I'll get to in a little bit. And then we have Nick and Nate Diaz. Or should I say Nick Diaz's return against Robbie Lawler. 17 years in the making, the rematch. This fight should be incredible. I'm actually really hyped on this entire card, but just for time's sake, let's just go ahead and talk about the main event, co-main, and then obviously the featured bout. B, I know you got some questions for us, man. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and cook a little bit. I'm here. I'm all ears. You know, I'm here to answer whatever questions we may have. What's on your mind, bro?
You guys go through the card. I'll jump in with the questions.
Okay.
I already have a couple.
Well, let's talk about this. So let's go ahead and we have Alexander Volkanovsky defending his title against Brian Ortega. Now, this is a fight that I think a lot of people are really excited about. You have one of the best finishers in the sport, especially one of the best finishers within that weight class in Brian Ortega against T-City himself against, man, one of the most technically sound, tough guys, one of the best fighting IQs in the sport as well. 2 pound-for-pound type guys in a fight that a lot of people are kind of torn on. I love this fight stylistically. I'm happy to see Volkanovsky fight somebody that's not Max Holloway, even though I think Max Holloway won. It is what it is. And you know what I'm saying? I think Max still won those fights. But I love this matchup, and there's so many question marks. So let me throw it to you guys. What are you more concerned with? Are we more concerned with the game planning of Alexander Volkanovsky, or is it more concerning the danger of the finishing ability of Brian Ortega?
I think.
Well, I'm curious.
Go ahead, Bika.
When you say finishing ability, is he a good finisher as far as striking? Is he a good in the ground? Like, what is he good at when it comes to finishing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He's better. He's better on the ground than he is standing.
But he knocks everybody out though too.
More recently.
Dude, he knocked out Frankie Edgar, one of the most durable men ever, with an uppercut that literally lifted Frankie Edgar off of his feet. Uppercut. My man's feet were in the damn air, landing out. Then Korean Zombie, a guy who I literally believed was the better striker. I thought Korean Zombie was going to outpace Brian Ortega coming off of a 2-year absence after the ass whooping that Max Holloway gave him. And then he goes out there, a completely different dude, looks like a fucking killer striker, looks like a karate guy. And on top of it, we already know that he's a Gracie black belt, handed to him by the Gracies themselves. So we have that, but we have Alexander Volkanovsky on the other hand, dude, who's that dude. So, I mean, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but B, continue. I'm sorry. You said part.
No, that was my question. You were just you were just speaking. I just wanted to know, when you say finisher, is he a finisher on the ground or all around finisher? Okay.
Yeah, they call him T-City for his nickname is Triangle City. That's where T-City comes from. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He is I put on this. You guys know how highly I feel of AJ Mckee. And you know, I've also said how great AJ Mckee is on the ground. The McKee, all those things. AJ Mckee says he would love to come to the UFC and fight at 145 because he needs to get back on Brian Ortega for tapping him out so many times. That's how good Brian Ortega is on the ground.
Yeah, no, he's phenomenal all around. I mean, it's definitely 2 different fighting styles. I think that Brian's going to be a threat, either standing up or on the ground, and I suppose that's where he has the advantage. But the thing about Volkanovsky, I mean, the thing about both these guys is that they only have 1 loss, right? You have Volkanovsky, who's 22-1. You have Brian Ortega, who I believe is 15-1. And the thing about Volkanovsky is that he always finds a way to win, right? I mean, we can always debate, of course, whether or not he won his last fight or the both fights against Max Holloway. But obviously, maybe not to some of us, but to the judges, he's able to convince them, right? And sometimes that's maybe perhaps finishing strong, right? Because everything is sometimes recency bias with these fights.
He also lost on the the global verdict scorecards. He also lost on. So
for the second match, not the first.
For the first one he won.
Yeah,
they gave it to him on the first one. Yeah, the second one he won.
Yeah, everybody was pissed off about the second one. But the point is that, that's neither here or there. Like here we are. He's still the champion, deservingly so or not. And I think that he's going against somebody like Brian Ortega, who can legitimately, put an end to that championship reign, right? That illegitimate championship reign, if you want to say so.
Well, I mean, regardless, it's not illegitimate because he's a badass and he took him to the brink regardless. You know what I'm saying? So he is still one of the top 2 featherweights in the organization. You know what I'm saying? He is amazing at what he does. And I mean, he's a city kickboxing guy. You guys who listen to the Fight Podcast, you know how highly I feel about the City Kickboxing team. That's New Zealand's own City Kickboxing, where Israel Adesanya is out of. B, what's up?
Okay, so if Brian Ortega wants to take the strap off of Volkanovsky, what does his fight need to look like? What weaknesses do you think he can exploit?
Oof. What makes Alexander Volkanovsky so good is he doesn't make mistakes. Okay? That he's one of those guys. He's so technically sound that he doesn't really he's super sound defensively, and he comes with hella volume, right? So he's going to put a pace on you, and he's going to freeze. And he's just technically sound. Yeah, he absolutely exactly.
Feints and fakes. Like if you watch him, you're going to think that he's a boxer because the way like the City Kickboxing mold is that of fakes, feints, and freezing you in your place, and then Volkanovsky adds in like a really good lateral and in and out movement. So
and he's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yes, and he has really good wrestling defense. So from my perspective, Volkanovsky is going to be hitting him at funny angles. It's going to be something that he hasn't really seen before. And if you go back to the Brian Ortega that fought Max Holloway, like that Brian Ortega would get washed by him. I'm curious to see how the new Brian, and that's the intrigue of this fight, right? Is like the new T City being a totally different fighter than we've ever seen before, and how does that shape up against Volkanovsky? Because regardless of whether you thought the judges scored it correctly, like he's one of the best 2 people in the division, and those 2 people are way ahead of everybody else in that division, right? Yeah. So from my perspective.
Well, one thing that I find is really interesting, one couple key things that I've been hearing around the way is what Brian Ortega is doing with his team. He's completely changed his team. He's managed now by Tiki, the legendary manager Tiki Golson. He's also training over there with TJ Dillashaw and those boys. So conditioning wise, Chael Sonnen was talking about it recently on his show, and he was talking about how different Brian Ortega is in terms of how dynamic he is. He says some of he's so dynamic at this point in time. And even if you go and watch his fight, even like the way he was throwing spinning elbows and things like that, he's very technical now with his striking, and he's super heavy-handed, man. So for me, I'll say his best opportunity is I think he's gonna have to wear him down and catch him with something. It's one of those.
So it sounds like just given the way you describe that fight, it sounds like, are you picking Volkanovsky?
I mean, that's a whole nother story. I mean, the interesting thing that I find about this is that Volkanovsky, even though he's shorter, he has a longer reach. So that's another thing too, is that
much shorter.
People underestimate him because of his size. I mean, Brian Ortega looks bigger than he really is. I think he's only 5'8".
He's 5'9". Volkanovsky is 5'6".
5'6". I mean, it's a big height difference right there. But I mean, the fact that he has a longer reach says a lot. And I also find that Alexander Volkanovsky is seriously never intimidating. I mean, he's smart and he knows when to come in and when not to. But when he comes in, like, he gives it his all. He there's no hesitation whatsoever.
If you guys want to see a great fight that really represent Alexander Volkanovsky, you guys need to go and look at the fight with Alexander Volkanovsky versus Chad Mendes. Go watch that fight. It's an amazing fight. It shows how durable he is. It shows how tough he is. And it shows because he gets rocked in that fight. He gets put on his ass. He gets back up and knocks out this dude that everybody at that point in time believed that he was supposed to be just a walkthrough for Mendes. He was supposed to be Mendes's way back to the title. He goes out there and knocks Mendes out, and pretty much Mendes retired after that fight because of it. He's a motherfucker, man. He's really damn good. I really do go back and forth with this one. So here, I'll throw it out there to you guys.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I'm the opinion that holds the least weight here. I'm going to go with Volkanovsky. I mean, you guys seem to have supreme confidence in his ability. I actually did see that last fight against Max Holloway. Unfortunately, I have not seen Brian Ortega fight, but I've heard his name tossed around a bunch. I don't think either of these guys have been too active lately. So I'm going to go with Volkanovsky. Just it sounds like his all-around skill set can be too much, and it sounds like things have to go perfect for Ortega to win, rather than Volkanovsky can win a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Let's go with Matty Ice. What's up, bro? What you got?
I mean, I definitely think Volkanovski's going to win. I think he has more, like Brandon said, he has really good takedown defense. Ortega's wrestling, like he's won in the past via like jumping into guillotines and kind of like odd submissions, not necessarily like takedown, ground and pound, submit kind.
Right.
So I think that Volkanovski's gonna be able to stay on the outside, come in and out, pop, stick and move, and like win a point fight pretty handily.
I can see it. Nick, what you got?
I'm gonna have to go against the current on this one. For some reason, and it's a gut feeling. I mean, it's a little bit more than a gut feeling, but I just see Ortega winning this one, and I think it's not necessarily because I think that he's being overlooked or anything like that, but I just feel that this is a brand new Brian Ortega, and he's just, I don't know, he just looks more driven. Not that he wasn't driven before, but there's a focus there that is pinpoint, and I see him knowing that this is probably going to be the final opportunity that he gets, or if not the final opportunity, the opportunity that there's, if he doesn't get it now, then who knows when he's going to get it. And I think that sacrifice, the sacrifices he's been making, this desperation, this kind of fire in his belly, I think it's going to be enough to, just edge it out from. I don't think it's going to be, at any chance like he's going to beat the shit out of Volkanovski, but I think he's going to be, the one that's going to edge him out towards the end.
Oof. Man, this is definitely a fight that I've gone back and forth with a lot. Oh man,
it's tough.
It's hard because the sample size with new Brian Ortega is so small.
It's so small.
Right? We saw
it's
one
so
fight.
Small. Yeah.
But the training lab thing is intriguing because
exactly,
outside of the EPO Dillashaw situation, like
they
those
come in
folks,
shape.
They come in crazy shape, right? So he's gonna have crazy cardio.
Not only that, but Shapehead Ortega was somebody else, man.
It's a mythical fighter.
Scary looking. Exactly.
He's like
dude,
sea-level
goddamn unicorn.
Dude, it's
Exactly.
TRT Vitor, bro. It's one of those, and he has one of the hottest girls in MMA. Good for him. Good for him. T City's winning in life.
It is, especially with that Modelo sponsor.
Oh, absolutely. All right, but you know what? I'll say this. He's winning in life, but he's losing this fight. I'm going with Volkanovski. Next, the co-main event of this fight is going to be against Lauren Murphy, who has a fantastic story. Lauren Murphy is someone who did not get into MMA until she was taking her son to start training MMA. That's when she started training. She's a soccer mom. She is somebody who has worked her way out there. She has been out of her 19 career fights. She has been the underdog in 17 of them. And she is on the path of destruction through the women's flyweight division. But what's going on, B? What's up?
I got my casual pick when you're ready.
Oh, okay.
I'm just letting you know it's there. I'm ready already.
We all
so
everybody is.
Okay.
So she's going in here to go. She's facing though the in my opinion the greatest female fighter of all time. She's facing one of my favorite fighters to watch. She's going against Valentina Shevchenko, the reigning defending flyweight champion, who is also the most active champion in the UFC. She can out-grapple you. She can outstrike you. She is a former Muay Thai world champ, multiple-time Muay Thai world champion. She has fought Amanda Nunes twice, and in most people's estimation, she was robbed the second fight. So that's how good she actually is. Valentina is a fucking monster, but this is a compelling fight for a lot of people. A lot of people think Lauren Murphy's big, she's strong, she's tough. Here's my pick. Lauren Murphy gets mollywopped and loses this fight in a one-sided ass kicking. I just think that Lauren Murphy's too slow. I'm sorry, gentlemen. I had to get my point out of there. Go ahead. What y'all think?
Nah,
I mean,
that's
just look at the odds, bro. Valentina Shevchenko, minus 2,000, minus 1,600, minus 1,500. This is like boxing odds. Like when you get these boxing mandatories,
boxing shots.
plus 900 for Lauren Murphy, plus 850. She's gonna get smoked.
Yeah,
how about this? How about this? Isn't boxing? This is the UFC. This is a pay-per-view card, and those are y'all odds. So y'all hold that. And ain't no soccer mom beating this lady. This is one of the Valentina. I have seen her fight. She fights like a fucking robot. When you talk about clean all around, clean fucking execution, like it looks great even on film. Like she passes the eye test way more than even Amanda Nunes. Like the eye test, if I watch Amanda Nunes and her, I would pick her. I would pick her in a fight. Like her form all around is clean. She'll beat you on the feet. She's going to be stronger than you most likely, so she'll be able to out wrestle you in most situations. I'm going to pick Shevchenko second round.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, man. I mean, and this is no disrespect to Lauren Murphy. Really,
no disrespect to Lauren Murphy.
This is
no disrespect.
You know, I don't want anybody getting this idea that she's just a bystander or anything like that. I mean, with anybody, she holds her own. But it's just Valentina Shevchenko. There's nobody that can rock with her. Like it's insane. This lady is a robot. Like we can't said. Like she honestly reminds me of like something that was built out of Skynet. Right, I don't know how many people I might have just
Terminator.
referenced my age there,
yeah.
but
I figured you were going there.
Like it's seriously, and then like dude, she's just a natural born killer from Kyrgyzstan. I mean, you see her living it up, traveling the country, shooting shit, literally just shooting shit. She
lives like a samurai.
Yeah, exactly. She's unstoppable. So I don't think by any means is this throwing shit at Lauren Murphy. Honestly, anybody that goes against Valentina, the only person that's going to beat Valentina is herself the day that she decides to hang it up.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's one of those. What's up, dude?
I was just before. I know you want to talk about the feature fight, the Nick Diaz return.
Yes.
But can we touch on some of the prelim card? Because
of course,
if you're a casual and you're just tuning in for the pay-per-view, like you're missing out on some of the best fights of the night, in my opinion.
Do you guys feel like this card is a bit overlooked? Like that people aren't as hyped as they should be for this card?
I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and read through the list for everybody, just so we can just hear how. Because here's the thing, it is stacked. I mean, you're right, man. It's stacked from top to bottom. Let's go ahead and start. Obviously, we have Volkanovsky versus Ortega, Shevchenko versus Lauren Murphy, Nick Diaz, Robbie Lawler. Gentlemen, Curtis Blades versus Jarginho Rosenstrike. Jessica Andrade versus Cynthia Carvalho. Dude, these are amazing fights. These are amazing fights. And that's just the main card itself.
Don't stop. Exactly. I'm close.
I'm going to keep going. Next after that, we have Marlon and the bantamweight, Marlon Moraes versus Merab Davishev. You have Dan Hooker versus is it confirmed that Nasquart is fighting?
I haven't seen an update.
I thought it was. I mean, Dan Hooker was the one who was having visa problems, I thought, not vice versa.
Oh, the very next day, Nasquart had his same thing happen to him. He's stuck.
Awesome.
Yeah. I think Hooker got him. I think that Nasquart is the way. He's working with the German consulate in Frankfurt.
Yeah, dude. But all in all, this card is fucking stacked. Okay, let me see. Even the early prelims. There's Jalen Turner, who's an absolute monster on there. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are a lot of fun fights on this card. I mean, Roxanne Modaffari's on this card. Chris Dukakis is on this card.
Santos.
Man, there's some amazing. This whole card from top to bottom is so good. But let's go ahead. In fact, let's do this. We'll go really quick through it, okay? I want to get into. Let's just. All right, I'll rapid fire through the main card. Unfortunately, we can't get everything, but I'll do this. Jessica Andrade, Cynthia Carvalho. Great fight. We have the number one women's flyweight, ranked. She just lost the championship against Valentina Shevchenko. She got finished in one of the most nasty crucifixes you're going to see. Just absolutely got destroyed in that fight. Everyone said that she was going to out-wrestle and out-strength Valentina Shevchenko, and Valentina Shevchenko did the exact opposite to her. But she's facing Cavallo, who is tough as they come. Good boxing, good grappling. Matt, what you think, man? This fight, how do you see it going down?
I think that Andrade still has the weight and the strength on most of the women in this division, ultimately.
Yeah.
I think Cavillo's, she's good. She's got some wrestling background and some skills. But I think Andrade, like, when you look at Andrade versus the other women, like, she's fucking yoked, dude. She's so strong.
Dude, she's got those tree trunks for legs.
Man.
Right.
Honest to God, tree trunks.
Oh, dude, she's an incredible athlete. She works her ass off. I mean, she's one of the best in the world. And where technically she's deficient, she makes up for in grit and strength. You know what I'm saying? She's a dog in the best possible way. She's going to get in your chest, and she's going to come and get you. It's going to be a great fight. I agree with you guys. I think that she'll probably end up winning that fight. Also, I'm going to ask you guys, Curtis Blades, Jardineau Rosenstrike. This is a great card, especially if Rosenstrike can stay off of his back. What do you guys say? How do you think this fight's going to go?
I like Blades.
I actually like Jardineau.
Chi-Town, stand up. You do?
Yeah.
I don't think Jardineau's going to do it. I don't think he can stand up with him. And now, should I say, the moment he tries to stand up with him, Curtis Blades just got knocked out. He's not even going to deal with striking at this point in time. He's going to put his wrestling singlet on. He's going to shoot in, and he's going to finish the fight that way. I that's how I see the fight going down.
I think it's going to be a boring fight, a boring wrestle fuck.
Yeah, that's good for Curtis Blades.
Good for Curtis Blades.
Oh, I mean, it's good for Curtis Blades, that's for sure. But if Jardineau strikes first and he gets it clean, like he has a talent and he's shown that he can before, I mean,
guaranteed every round starts on the feet, so he's definitely got a chance.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he does. He has a chance, but we'll see. All right. Now the fight we're about to talk about, last major fight, Nick Diaz's return. He goes in there against Robbie Lawler. 17 years in the making. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Who won the first fight?
Oh, you need to go watch it.
Diaz.
It's I think on UFC.com. But Nick Diaz won via second round knockout.
Oh, that was that.
And
crazy
that's the
second
thing.
round.
So here's the thing. If you haven't seen Nick Diaz, everybody thinks of Nate Diaz. There would be no Nate Diaz without Nick. Okay?
Nope.
Nick is the one who's the badass of the crew. They call the Nick Diaz Army for a reason. Nick Diaz is a Cesar Gracie black belt. He is amazing on the ground. He can choke you, he can do everything, but he has the exact same pace as Nate does. He hits harder though. He'll put you out. Where Nate can't hurt you the same way, Nick will put you down. And Nick has that same gas tank where he's not going to stop coming forward. If he wants to fight, that is.
Yeah,
if he wants to be
he's not
there
taking a
that
nap
day.
in the middle of the ring.
So that's the compelling thing about Nick. But if Nick is motivated and wants to win, Nick is a motherfucker, man.
So picks.
I got Nick.
How?
But Nick is one of those guys that, I've said it in group chats that I'm not a stan of many fighters. Nick Diaz is one of those guys for me. Okay, like I'm a Nick Diaz stan. I think Nick is going to win it, but I also think that technically he can win this fight by being able to utilize his length, very similar to the way he did last time. But I think he is actually better than Robbie Lawler on the ground, and if he can withstand the initial burst of a Robbie Lawler, he'll be able to outpace him the rest of the fight and really beat him up.
Yeah, this one breaks my heart because Lawler's one of my all-time favorite fighters, but he's really not the same as he used to be. And I think Nick Diaz, given the hiatus that he's been on, he's got a lot of momentum.
Been gone for 5 years.
Right, but he's got a lot of
6
momentum
years,
behind him, man. And honestly, the Diaz brothers, I think you've actually said it, Serge. If these fights were unlimited rounds, they would be undefeated. Because that's just how much gas they have in the tank. And I feel that Robbie Lawler at this point of his career and coming off 4 losses, I mean, and not only that, but we also got to, consider the fact that Nick Diaz asked to go off weight to change the weight for this fight. Did he not? He asked for it.
Yes.
I don't think. He did ask for it to be at
they
185. So it is at 85.
It's official. Yes,
it's going to be
official?
at 85.
Yeah,
now.
you know what? That to me, that's much ado about nothing. I think it's a guy who hasn't had to cut weight in 6 years saying, I don't want to do this shit no more. And we're both 38 years old. Hey, do you not want to cut weight? Psh, I'm cool. Fuck it. Let's not cut weight. I think that's what it was.
I think that's go ahead,
Sergio. You can't do that. You can't do that, Sergio. Because Sergio, you are so fucking hard on people for missing weight, but because we stand Nick Diaz, you can't hold the same.
Well, he didn't miss. He
didn't miss weight. They changed it. If they changed it now, if he misses weight after they fucking changed it, then yeah, I have an issue with it.
Yeah, but technically he didn't miss weight, not yet.
He didn't miss weight.
Okay,
he just changed
it. It's a gentleman's agreement.
It's a sneaky.
It's a gentleman's agreement. Well, I'm not mad. And look, here's the thing. I am a sportsman above all else. All right, I've been in the game. Look, if we can make a gentleman's agreement, I'm all for it. But if we have a contracted bout, we have signed, we're fighting at this weight, and we go into it about to weigh in, and you miss this weight, then I have a fucking problem. But if we said it a week beforehand and say, "Yo, you good doing this?" Oh hell yeah! And if I couldn't wait, no way. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Then hey, I'm here with it.
Stat Boys got some interesting takes on this one. So Nick Diaz's last fight was in January of 2015, which is 6 years
against Anderson Silva. Yep.
Against Anderson Silva, which was a no contest after Silva tested positive.
Well, who won that fight?
That Silva
was a no contest.
Silva did. It was
unanimous decision that turned into a no contest after Diaz tested positive for marijuana.
That's what it was.
And Silva tested positive for steroids. However, on the other side,
didn't happen.
Robbie Lawler hasn't won since 2020. No, the last time he won was July 29th of 2017 against Donald Cowboy Cerrone. Previous to that, his last win was in January 2nd of 2016. So, like, I don't know, man. It's gonna be an old man fight. I hope it's fun. I hope that there's a lot of action, as much as we can expect from these guys. I've got Diaz just because those guys stay in really good shape. They're running and triathloning and fighting each other in the gym all the time. So I got Diaz, but I just hope it's fun and not disappointing.
No, I don't think it's going to be disappointing. I think it's actually going to be a fun fight. I think the guys are going to go out there and I think they're going to put on the show. I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to go out there and really, try to make it happen. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But camera's messing up. But all right. So does everybody say? Did you guys make your picks? Everybody got anybody going with much. Robbie, or are we all going with Nick?
I think we're all going Nick.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, Nick Diaz it is. But look, all in all, man, great weekend of fights. There's boxing. There's, dude, I am over here trying to figure out. Had to change cameras. I'm freaking out.
Where's the UFC fight card?
This fight card is in Vegas. Yes.
Yeah, okay, so T-Mobile Arena. So it's actually going to have
I want to make sure I mentioned that because there's boxing, there's UFC at different times.
Yeah, you could watch the boxing in the morning.
No, not the morning. Come on now. You should be looking at the main event at like 5 or 6 p.m. I believe. I would start watching the card about 5 p.m. to be safe, but usually for those UK cards, about right around 5 is when I see them walking out.
And that's the main event.
That's dope.
The main event, yeah, and I love it. I love it that way because I have my night free, and then you got the UFC. Like,
you get a chance
the
to
UFC card after that.
Dinner and a nap right before the UFC fight. So
and the zone is a lot cheaper.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Nah,
well, I'll buy one and I'll stream one. Won't tell you which.
Yo, Serge, do you think that Marlon Moraes is going to get cut once he loses to Merab Dvalishvili? He would be third fight in a row and 4 out of 5.
Yeah, they'll cut him. They'll cut him. I think they'll cut him on that one. Let me see if anybody else on this card is on the hook.
I mean, Dan Hooker's lost his last 2, but that was to Michael Chandler.
But they're not gonna get rid of Dan. I think Dan
is too entertaining for them to cut.
Far too entertaining. Yeah.
I mean, there's Roxanne.
No, Roxanne's
Yeah, but she
been
gets
winning,
paid
though.
like 25 and 25, and she fights like 7 times a year. She's like the most useful fighter to fill out cards in that women's division.
Seriously. Oh, dude, it's gonna be
You can roll her out there like 6 times a year for cheap.
I see that on the prelim. 25 and 19.
Dude, she's like win and loss, win and loss.